Hey guys, welcome back to another comic book review here on Toned In Entertainment. When we left off in issue number 3, we saw that our heroes from TMNT and Stranger Things had a giant obstacle in their way in the form of the Mind Flayer. Now, as we jump into the 4th and final issue of this mini-series, will our heroes find a way to take down this giant foe and save the city? Well, let's get on with my comic book review for TMNT Cross Stranger Things issue number 4 called Bright Lights. Now, the theme in this issue is urgency, and thankfully for our heroes, they're going to have a few more helping hands in their battle with Casey Jones and April O'Neil joining in on the monster hunting. We will also get some insight as to just how the Mind Flayer was able to seize the opportunity and use the teleport to get into Earth in the first place. Plus, in my favorite moment in this issue, we get to see Eleven earn her stripes. And while there are some cool battle scenes here, with a menace such as the Mind Flayer, our heroes are actually able to defeat this monster rather easily, which then leads to our two sides saying goodbye, and then it just all ends. So now that's going to lead me to my final score of issue number 4 of TMNT Cross Stranger Things. The story, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. For a series that started out a little bit rough in issue number 1, but really won me over in issue number 2 and 3, the story here in issue number 4, well, it's just okay. And other than seeing the appearances of Casey Jones and April and seeing Eleven being handed the mask, the rest of this issue story really doesn't spark any type of emotion. Now, the art, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. While I thought the art was the weakest link in this series up to this point, things here in this issue get flipped upside down, and there are some pretty cool moments here depicted by artist Farrell Pay and colorist Sophie Dodgson. The conclusion of this series, well, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. While we do have an ending, I was quite underwhelmed on how it all just wrapped up so quickly, and it really didn't feel organic at all. The fun factor? I have to give this issue a 5 out of 10. While the story does make sure to cover its bases and get things all wrapped up, as soon as I finished reading this issue, my first thoughts were, really? That's it? In my belief, an epic opponent like the Mind Flayer should have possessed so much more of a challenge, and unfortunately the way this series wrapped up was quite disappointing, especially after having a very strong middle to this series. So that leads me to my final score of TMNT Cross Stranger Things issue number 4. Well, it's going to earn a 5.75 out of 10. Now, I had such high hopes for this final issue, but unfortunately, it feels like it was just cut short, possibly due to the amount of pages allowed for an issue. And there was so much possibility here than what's left when the words say the end show up on the final page. Now, did you guys read the TMNT Cross Stranger Things comic book series? And if you did, what are your thoughts? And if you have any suggestions as to comic book series that I should check out of these two franchises, comment down below. Now, while I did give this final issue a pretty low score, that doesn't mean I don't think it's worth checking out, especially if you're a fan of both of these franchises. Just don't go into it with very high expectations. Alright guys, if you like comic book reviews like this and all things pop culture, make sure you hit that red subscribe button so you can stay tuned in here to Toned In Entertainment for future videos.
Subscribe to the channel. Do it. Go now. Do it now.